Hey everyone, it's been a hot minute. Um, I just wanted to ask if anybody out there has noticed a kind of shift, like a change in the vibe of the air within I don't know past few months. I wish I could put this into words better, but it feels like definitely something changed over the past few months. Really, even maybe even since January, since this year began, although I believe it was a lot more subtle at first and it's kind of unfolding now. It just feels like there's a different energy. And as far as like world events and that kind of all that kind of BS goes, it's kind of almost like it's desperate for our attention. It seems like really desperate for our attention right now. Um, by the way, happy April Fool's Day. Just a thought I had, and I was wondering if anybody else had felt this at all. But I also feel like I was kind of gullible, just gullible, um, and kind of fell for the agitprop that I knew that's what it was, and still got sucked into it. I guess a good way to explain is a few years back, when I kind of got to the point where I thought all of this quote unquote truth research and that kind of shit, all of that was kind of a big distraction, and it was a big way to just kind of waste your energy. But maybe necessary to have a thing to have gone through. But it was a time, I would say, back in like 2018 or so, and I just quit. I was done with it. I was done with it. I said, fuck all this. I'm tired of it. It's nonsense. I want to focus on being successful and just focus on making my life great. At the end of the day, a friend who we would share info with each other all the time about those kinds of things. He told me, fuck the truth. At the end of the day, you gotta better your own life, regardless of what the truth is and all that shit. But, anyways, so I did definitely notice a huge difference when I stopped focusing on that stuff, um, and I started to focus more on my job and things like that. Not because I liked the job per se, but because I wanted to um, better my own skills and my own, kind of climb up that ladder, and not to stay with that company, but just to make myself able to be a person who basically was really good at the job and go get a better job because of the skills I developed. But that definitely, I noticed that a lot of changes started happening in my life when I stopped focusing on all that really abstract, out there truth stuff, and I just started to focus on my own life. And that kind of turned into drudgery after a while. Kind of got old and burnt out. Um, Now, during that time before I get to the next part, I will say that I definitely got a lot more into just pop culture, media shit. Um, is a way to, I guess, cope, um, escape, and nothing wrong with it. Just it really got interesting how much it was kind of weird how I got really into comics for a minute, and and that kind of replaced all the fucking esoteric and occult and conspiracy kind of and psychology and all the really heavy books I was reading. I just was like, you know what, screw this. I just want to drink and smoke and read a comic. That was kind of my way of decompressing. But fast forward a couple more years, I started to kind of really get I got wrapped up in the historical, the study of the historical narrative and the empire that had existed in our history and the fabrication of our history. I started to really get into, like the mud flood, Tartaria, and all that kind of stuff. I really sucked back into this whole truth thing through that. Because, it's undeniably incredibly fascinating, and it just more and more never ends, right? Because the observer kind of creates the reality. That's why it never ends. Feedback loop thing. But, anyway, I guess the point of this is I got really caught up in all the bullshit tyranny that was going on, and it still is. But it kind of feels like that if it was an astrology thing or something, then it's past. Maybe it kind of feels like, or something shifted, something changed. And you can see the world events change, but it seemed like we were stuck in 2020 for a very long time. And things are not how they were before. They changed things permanently. But, or at least, I guess you can't really say permanently. Well, you can, but it could be temporary change. Doubt it, but and only time will tell. But yeah. Just I got sucked back into the fucking buying it, and even like with the whole the mark of the beast and the V, and I'm not saying that it isn't, not saying it isn't something to it. I'm just saying like getting really caught up in it, really caught up and distracted by it, and really putting a lot of energy into that, a lot of prana, a lot of chi. So, anyways, I'm just saying. I already knew about how you can get caught up in this shit, and I still got caught up in it. So it's like, what? God damn, man. Matrix, how many times does Matrix score another point? But anyway. I just wonder, has anybody else noticed, though, that it's definitely, I feel like there has been major changes in, like, the subtle background of the reality. Not necessarily on the forefront, but, like, the whole vibe has changed. A lot of people have been just changing their minds and drastically on things, at least that I've experienced and I've noticed. It's very interesting. So just let me know if anybody else has felt this, because I thought, as I sat here thinking about it, I was like, man, it's really more than I think anybody's really giving credit, but there's been a major shift. Anyways, thanks for watching, and see you next time. Peace.